just learned that Donald Trump would outlaw shredded cheese if he became president. He's gonna make America great again.
True story.
It's here, Tens. It's here. I have arrived. After 2 months, my long winter of travel is over. Today is the last day. Today I drive to Junction City, Kansas for a meeting, and then I come home and my heavy travel is done. We survived, we made it. You and I, we made it, we did it. Good job us. Good job us. So I was told by one of my tens the other day that he has watched every single one of my vlogs and he has noticed 3 themes in my life. I asked him what those were. He said, you're hungry a lot, you're tired a lot, and you drive a lot. Welcome to my life. So I'm on my way to Junction City, Kansas this morning. I'm helping one of our presbyteries search for their new executive, their new leader. That's the person that's kind of in charge. And while I'm driving, I'm listening to some podcasts, as I am wont to do, and I'm listening to one of my favorite ones, You Are Not So Smart. I talked about You Are Not So Smart a while ago. They had an episode about bullshit. Remember that one? Yeah, same one. Anyway, they're doing a series on logical fallacies, which I find fascinating. And the one I just listened to was about the black and white fallacy. It's also called the false dichotomy fallacy. So I've known about fallacies before, but never in a formal sense. And what I've learned is that fallacies are just errors in logic. It doesn't necessarily mean that the conclusion or the point is wrong. It just means that the way you're making your point is incorrect. And one of the ways that we do this is we set up this false dichotomy, or we set up a black and white. It's either this thing or that thing. And the example that they kept giving was after 9/11, when former President Bush used to say, you're either with us or you're against us.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
And my mind automatically went to that part in, I think it's Luke, where Jesus tells his disciples, like, something's going on, and the disciples are like, stop this guy. And Jesus says, no, listen, don't stop him. If he's not against us, he's for us. Here's what's striking to me about that. And somebody who's skilled in rhetoric may tell me that I'm doing it wrong, but I don't care because I like what I'm about to say. Most people would say, if you're not with me, you're against me. Meaning, I am right, I am correct. There can be nothing other than what I am doing. I mean, this is a false dichotomy, don't get me wrong, but they're saying, listen, I hold the correct position, and if you are not 100% in line with my correct position, then you're wrong and you're my enemy. I love what Jesus does in that passage. He's like, listen, as long as somebody is not actively trying to be my enemy, to be our enemy, let's assume that they're with us. I mean, what a better way to live. Truly. That is so much less exhausting than thinking I am the sole arbiter of everything that is awesome in the world, and if you are not 100% with me, then I am going to take you down. You are my enemy, and I am obligated to fight you. No, I like this other way of doing things that, listen, I'm going to go about my business doing what I think are the right and good and true and beautiful things, and as long as you are not actively opposing me, I'm going to assume that what you're doing is falling in line with what I'm doing. What a better way to live. Alrighty, I have made it to Junction City. Yee-haw. Junction City is actually where Fort Riley is. Fort Riley is a large army base here in the middle of Kansas. So there's that. Please don't interpret that as me being anti-military. I am not anti-military. I am not thrilled about military, but I am not anti-military. I just want to make that very clear. My brother served in Iraq, so I'm not anti-military. Don't say I'm anti-military. I'm just not excited about the idea of killing people. That's all. Funny story. The year I went to seminary in Louisville, Kentucky, and that same summer, my brother enlisted in the Army and was at basic training at Fort Knox, which is within driving distance of Louisville. So at the end, when we were going down for his graduation, we went down there, and I was headstrong and very opinionated, and loudly so. So we're down at his graduation. We're out on I think it's called the parade grounds, and we're sitting in the bleachers waiting for his unit, I don't know what it's called, his class, to come out onto the parade ground and to do whatever it is that they do out there for the ceremony. And while we're waiting, so we're there on the bleachers, and while we're waiting, and I'm uncomfortable anyway, just because, I had not thought a lot or resolved any of my thoughts or feelings about the military or what was going on, or the fact that my brother was now a part of this thing that made me very uncomfortable. And while we're waiting, so we're sitting there, right? And there are people that are very, very proud of their sons and daughters who are there, and they're wanting to have a good day, and this is a good day, and something good has been accomplished. These young women and men have done something very good. Just like my brother did something very good. He went through basic training. That is a feat that I don't think I would ever be able to do. Anyway, we're sitting there, and it's a little quiet, and people are talking amongst themselves, but not so quiet that you didn't notice that people were talking. And that's important because my mom asked me, "So, Landon, why is it that you hate the Army?" And the whole parade ground got really quiet. And I felt like everybody was looking at me, and it was awful. It was just awful. I've told my mom that story before. I've told her how uncomfortable that made me, and she has sheepishly apologized. But in fairness, it was a fair question. It was a fair question. Okay. Junction City. Where you at? Where you at, church? Oh, I guess it's right here. Here we are. First Presbyterian Church of Junction City. Fantastic. Oh, this is a very nice structure. Very beautiful. Man, look at this thing. Man, that is an edifice. Wow. A lot of times, oh, there's the office that way. A lot of times churches out here in the rural parts of Kansas are really tiny things. So it always throws me when I come upon one that is not really tiny. This one's serious, man. Look at that stone.
It's open. Come on in.
Thank you. All right. Hi, I'm looking for the Presbyterian of Northern Kansas meeting.
Yeah, room 206.
Great.
Just right past the library.
Awesome. Thank you. All done. That's fantastic. I love meetings that are not like hours and hours and hours long. I mean, we could have talked for hours and hours and hours, but when they said we're going to get together for 2 hours, that's what they meant. Okay, I might even be able to still make it back to the office today, so that's good. First, I need to find some coffee. I seem to remember a really pretty decent coffee place in Junction City, Kansas, of all places. I need to go find that. Find a coffee shop near me.
Here are the listings for coffee shop near me within 1 mile.
Okay, Cappuccino Junction. Starbucks. All right, I'm sorry. I know it's a really great coffee shop, and I'm gonna get, loads of crap, but I'm just gonna go to Starbucks. I have a Starbucks gift card. That's good stewardship, ladies and gentlemen. Good stewardship. Let's go home. Oh, this is cool. So a few weeks ago when I was doing my swing through Kansas, what was that, just maybe a week or so ago, this was the place that I drove by where they were burning the field. And I drove through the smoke. Man, I wish you could see right here, like there is green popping up in the soil. It is just so rad. Like I absolutely love it. That's the deal, Tens. You burn all the chuff away and then the good stuff can come up. It's like, yeah, it's Phoenix right there in the heartland. Woo! Hi, how are you?
Good now.
Doing well. I don't need a receipt. Thank you. Back home. All right, Tens, that was it. The final trip of the hellish winter of 2016. Oh, and the sun is shining. How glorious. How glorious. I only know that because of you. I never watched Real World.
Sad for you.
Yeah, right, yeah, clearly.
Don't mind me, I'm just videoing your butt.
That's disgusting.